how to make money in this situation and how to face all the job loss and all the financial situation you could face during the COVID-19, whether it's due to a job loss or any kind of difficulties you could feel like if you're a business owner and stuff like that. So passive income would be an option to consider. So I'm going to welcome Robert Bartwin. And if you would like to introduce yourself, Robert.
Sure. I'm Robert Bartwin. I've been an entrepreneur now for 50 years. I know I don't look that old, but in the meantime, I'm what they call psychologically unemployable. I live in the wine country in Northern California, and I'm glad to be here with everybody.
Oh, I'm losing you. So would you tell us what you did and how successful you are and why you started it?
You're asking me?
Yes.
Is this for me? Okay.
How did you start the passive income and about your journey?
Well, my journey started actually back in 85, 86 when I came to the realization that the path that I was going down was not going to get me where I wanted to. I had one of these defining moments. Actually, I had a couple defining moments. I was working for a family business. The problem was there was too much family in the family business, and I came to the realization I needed to go on another path. And that happened based on a couple of things that happened in the business, and it happened with I came across a tape series by Wayne Dyer called No Limit Person. And when I started to realize the limits that existed in my life, that I was responsible for them being there, and that I could take responsibility for where I really wanted to go. And as that relates to really what's going on today in life with this COVID-19, it's like I look at this, yes, it's an inconvenience. It's, you know, it's a real situation, but I look at it as an awakening. You know, I don't know if or when things will ever get back to the way they were. I mean, I'm very optimistic. I'm probably one of the most optimistic people that I've ever come across. But in the meantime, again, I look at this as an awakening. And my whole thing is, and I want to talk about having an MBA. And if you have an MBA, you'll get an MBA, which means you want to feed your mind, body, and your activities. You know, I've taken a look at based on what's happening. You know, it's like I've taken it as the opportunity to feed more into my mind, listening to more things that will allow me to think differently. I've taken it into the fact of putting different things in my body and having different kinds of activity. And that's to me the MBA. And the other MBA is a massive bank account. See, if you do the proper activities, you can have a massive bank account by helping other people. To me, again, this is a wake up call. It's how we can make a positive difference in people that might be having challenges today. I mean, I can go on and on. I'm not sure which direction you want me to go, but you know, what I've done recently is number one, I've taken this as an opportunity to connect with more people, to expand my network, and also to connect with people that were already in my network. I find that people now today are more open and willing to talk about more really deeper, more relevant topics today based on what's happening. I find, you know, obviously most people are at home. Most people are getting tired of maybe, you know, being at home, you know, but in the meantime, it's like you can go out for walks. You know, I went out for a walk with my family today. So I'm taking advantage of the situation, and I'm still focused on what can I do to make a difference. You know, my whole thing and what I've learned is if you focus on what you can do to make a positive difference in other people, things are going to you can become very successful. You know, I look at passive income. You know, I'm what I look at as psychologically unemployable. I have not worked a job since September 7th, 1990. But, you know, again, it's based on educating people, helping people realize that you can take responsibility for whatever you want in your life. You might have to do things differently. Yeah, the
True.
COVID, again, I mentioned the COVID-19 to me is a wake up call. It's an awakening. Um, and I'm here to help more people is really where I'm coming from, where I'm going. What can I do to make a positive difference? How can I um, positively impact and touch more people? Work from home. I've worked from home since 1990. Um, you're able to utilize technology I mean, think about it for a second, Ndeye. How did you and I meet? We met on LinkedIn. You know,
True.
you're able, things that in the past that I spent a lot of money on to educate my mind, you're able to get today for free if you know where to look for it. I mean, there's so much information out there on YouTube. So it's up to us to take this opportunity to help other people that, as you mentioned, might be struggling, might have lost their job, might have had friends of theirs that have been impacted by the virus. But again, if you're feeding your body, you take a look at it, and according to the numbers that I've seen, 99% of the people that they're that they were in a good state of well-being did not get impacted by it. The majority of the people that are being impacted by the virus are people that were already in a weakened state of health consciousness.
Mhm.
And I've been,
Robert,
yes,
what I would like to do, since we are three here, I'm going to introduce Mali.
sure,
So I have to put her on. I'm going to feature her. So she's going to introduce herself. And I'm pretty sure she had some few questions to ask, and I'll take over.
sure.
Okay. Oh, I'm having technical difficulties. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna ask her own question because it seems like I can't have her in. I don't know for XYZ reasons. Sorry about that, Mali. So Mali, we had an interview. We met also on LinkedIn, and we had an interesting interview about COVID, and it was a nice talk. So Mali is asking, can you provide specific ideas about activities for health and productivity?
Specific ideas. I didn't hear the specific ideas about what. I didn't hear the end of your question.
About these activities for health and productivity.
Well, specific ideas for health is, again, it's changing your consciousness level. I was just listening to John Robbins, and there had this large symposium that's on the internet that was on day 2. But specific ideas for health, number one, become conscious and eat less of the negative things that you've been probably eating, the things that we have, gotten into the habit of eating, things similar to the amount of meat, the amount of deep fried foods, the amount of processed foods, the amount of things that have got GMOs, things like that. You want to eat less of those, become more conscious, eat more plant-based, nutrient-dense foods. It's like, the key to health that I've learned, and you take a look at most of the people that create the foods that are on the shelves that we go to buy. One of the things that they said in what I was listening to today is there were people that were hired by these food companies that make the food so that you want to crave to eat them. There's a if you go to YouTube, salt, sugar, fats, how the food giants hooked us, or go to YouTube and look at what the health. You understand why people are in a weakened state of health. So first you've got the consciousness to understand why that is, and then it's making different choices. Those choices are more plant-based, nutrient-dense foods. And the more that we can have products that have got superfoods, things that have been proven to strengthen our body so that we are in a better state of health and well-being. It's like I'm 68 years young. I still play basketball with people 30 to 40 years younger than me. And I go to the doctor once every year just to check up on my numbers. And all my numbers are in line because of the fact that I eat less of the garbage and more nutrient dense superfoods.
Awesome. And the next question from Mali is, what got you into the idea of passive income and what has worked really well for you? Many people try, but I see they give up too soon.
Can you repeat the question again?
What got you into ideas of passive income?
Okay.
And what has worked really well for you? Many people try, but I think they give up too soon.
Well, as far as passive income, to me, there was, when I came to the realization and my intention was to be successful. I didn't know how I was going to be successful in the beginning stages. I started to listen to Michael Gerber's tape series called E-Myth, which stands for the entrepreneur mythology. And he talks about 4 to 5 businesses are going to fail in the first 5 years. And he said, of the 20% of you that make it 5 years, don't breathe a sigh of release, because 4 out of 5 of you are going to fail in the next 5 years. See, failure was not an option. Once I came to the realization that my original plan was not going to get me where I wanted to, that's where I came to the realization that I wanted to take responsibility for my future and my destination. And so I came across what they call direct marketing, network marketing, multi-level marketing, which I love. The acronym of that is making life meaningful. So once I came to the realization that if others could do it, so could I. I just had to figure out how to create the skills that would allow me to create the success that I wanted to. So, I knew that, again, if other people could be successful, I could be successful. I just had to prepare myself. I had to learn what I needed to do. The key in this business, and in every business, it's all about people. If you can make a positive difference in other people, because people build businesses, it's not about me. It's how we can make a positive difference. And, I'm just grateful that I've got income streams, from a long period of time, so that when the things that are happening today are happening, I'm not in, a stressful situation. I can empathize with what other people are going through, no question about it. But I'm, again, I mentioned I'm very optimistic. I know we're going to get through this. And to me, it's the opportunity to help more people.
Mali said, you mentioned Michael Gerber, the E-Myth. What other leaders motivate you? And how are you motivating others during this time of COVID-19?
Well, I mean, Jim Rohn definitely motivates me. Simon Sinek motivates me. Begin with your why. Understand the why. Again, you can get that at YouTube for free. Jim Rohn, Take Charge of Your Life. I mean, he used to speak for Herbalife, and Herbalife gave him $1 million a year raise not to speak in front of any other network marketing company. He was the one that turned Tony Robbins' life around. Tony Robbins motivates me. Les Brown motivates me. There's many top speakers out there that you can plug into, and gain their insight and perspective. Again, the key that I've learned is how you put together the puzzle for your life. Everybody's got everybody's got similarities but differences. An expression that I learned in Asia: same but different. We've all got similarities. We all got certain needs and wants and desires that we want in our life, and we're all different. So, my goal, how I look at things is, I look at the fact what I can do to help somebody else. So for me to do that, I can't go in with an agenda beyond the agenda of what to do, what talents and skills and wisdom I have, that as I find out where that person is and what that person wants to accomplish, how I can share some insights in a way that will help that person create the success that they're looking for. It's not about me. It's about me being able to help somebody else. I believe that
Oh,
God put us
mm.
all on this planet to create something great. And so it's what role I can play in helping other people become more than they might have possibly settled for whatever reason.
Mali said, great insight. Thank you, Robert.
Tell her she's welcome. I wish she was here. I could hear her directly, but I'm sure that day will come. I mean,
She could hear you. It's just I can't hear her on the live stream.
yeah.
So my next question would be, how do you cope? How do you cope with COVID-19? Is there a routine or something you do on a daily basis?
I try to exercise, I try to eat the right foods, and I try to feed my mind. Again, it's your MBA, what you put in your mind, what you put in your body, in the activities you
Mm-hmm.
do. It's really that simple. The three things. I try to feed my mind with positive things on a daily basis. I want to listen to somebody that, and again, now that this has happened, I've sort of like gone back into my roots, which is how I gained my freedom, which is listening to people that, were great orators, people that had the insight and wisdom, people like a Brian Tracy, people like a Stephen Covey. We could go on and take a look at Seth Godin would be another one. I mean, I could take a picture of my library and I don't know exactly how much money that I spent, but I spent a lot of money and you can get it for free today. So it's like what you're putting in your mind, making sure that you're not eating too much of the negative foods that are creating the degenerative conditions that unfortunately many people are going to attract because they eat too much of the negative food. And then the activities, walk, and I want to continually reach out and connect with new people. I think this, the key of what I've learned, it's how you can expand your network, how you can empower your network. You've got people that you've already got relationships with. I mean, since you and I have met, Ndeye, have I continually sent you different things that have, some of those things have made a positive difference, just because of the fact that, it might have been a great speaker that I came across. Have I tried to open doors for you and make connections
Yeah,
that would be beneficial
sure.
for you? So it's like, once you've got somebody that's, so to speak, in your inner circle, it's what you can do to continually help them. It's like the key as far as the activity is how you create a high level of know, like, and trust. And the key is once you get it there, how you keep it there so that you can continually be there as a support mechanism for one another of the people that you like and that you want to help. More questions? One of the things that amazes me, and
Okay.
again, we met on LinkedIn, it's how many people believe that they're going to start doing business with somebody they never talked to. So again, I'm looking to, part of my activity is continually looking to find a couple new people. If I can find one new person per week. Now, for me to find one new person, and again, what I try to do is meet somebody online, get them offline, and develop a real connection with them.
It's cutting in and out.
I'm cutting in and out.
Yeah, but it's okay. It's you quite answer all my question, but it's what I would like to know is what do you think is going to happen at the end of this COVID-19? How would it culturally affect you? What do I mean is like we are used to before shake hands, hugs, and stuff like that. How do you think this is going to affect us culturally? The fact that we
Well,
have to self-distance.
according to what I saw on MSN, they feel that we're not going to go back. We're going to have to keep up the social distancing until the end of the summer. Some people
Okay.
question if we'll ever get back to handshaking again or not. Those are things I'm not really sure about. The one thing that I know and I believe is I can make a positive difference with people. There's certain things we can control and other things that we can't control. What I can control, and
Mm-hmm.
you and I've never met face to face. We've never hugged. We've never shaken hands, but we've developed a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to, and I think I sent it to you from Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook. And he was talking about all the different positive changes because of COVID-19 that are coming to Facebook. I sent you that video, if I'm not mistaken, yesterday. So, we're going to have to adapt, based on some of the things that are going to be impacted based on what's happening right now. But you've got to stay positive. You need to realize that we will ultimately get through the things that we're going to get through. You can't allow fear to stop you. And I like, there's a couple different acronyms for fear, and I can go through them real quickly if you want. But, and I think
Yeah,
it's,
sure, go.
yeah, in the movie The Lion King. And I think that's a real good example of the three different acronyms of fear. For those of you that might not remember the movie, but it was where Simba was a brand new lion, lion cub, and his uncle wanted
Mm-hmm.
to take out Simba's dad. So he figures out how he could kill him. And so Simba thought he was responsible for that. So the first acronym is false evidence appearing real. And because of he thought he was
Yeah.
responsible, he did the second acronym of fear, which is F everything and run. He avoided the situation, and that's a lot of what's happening now in life because of the fear around COVID-19. I mean, it's here. I'm being conscious about social distancing. I'm careful, but I'm not going to allow it to stop me in my life. So in The Lion King,
Sure.
ultimately there was a point in the story where he got a voice from the hereafter from his dad, because when he, you know, avoided the situation, he sort of like kicked back and really didn't do anything. And he said, "Son, you are more than you have become."
Mm-hmm.
And so that he took it to the third acronym of fear, which is face everything and rise. We're in a situation, unfortunately. I might not like the situation, but I've got to stay optimistic. And I want to face whatever challenges come my way and rise and be there to help as many people as possible. Because I think that's really what life should be about. It's our ability to make a
Mm-hmm.
positive impact on other people. And part of that positive impact is helping other people take responsibility for whatever's happening in their life. I believe life has certain lessons that it gives us that we're supposed to learn. And one of the things I learned a long time ago is life will continually trip you up on the lesson you should learn. So, you know, I take a look at COVID-19, even though it's inconvenience, I take a look at it as an opportunity. It's an opportunity to develop deeper relationships with people and to expand and
Mm-hmm.
develop new relationships with other people. Many people, as you mentioned early on, have had their income cut off. You know, in the
Sure.
kind of business that I'm involved with, you don't have to have your income cut off because you can help other people, show them ways to create a secondary source of income, an alternative income from the luxury of their home by meeting people. um, and again, when I meet people, my first thought isn't to try to pitch them on a business opportunity. It's to listen to them, understand where they're at, figure out how I can
Mm-hmm.
guide them to information that might help them. If they are in the need or want for some kind of business opportunity, I figure out how I might be able to help them there. But that's not my primary need or interest in reaching out to connect with people.
Speaking of which, Mali has another question. She's asked, can you share what you believe will be different in the world post-COVID-19? It's quite similar to my question, but it's, can you share what you believe will be different in the world post-COVID-19?
Well, I think a lot of people are going to take this as a wake-up call. I think they're going to realize that they can't depend upon one source of income, that they need to have more than one source of income, that they need to prepare themselves more for the possible unexpected. Um, I think that they're going to figure out how to utilize technology more. I mean, you take a look at Mark Zuckerberg, the message I sent you yesterday. What's Facebook doing? There's a lot more people that are going to be utilizing technology along with the human touch to do business differently. Um, you know, will we be shaking hands again in the future? I'm not sure. Will we be hugging as many people in the future? I'm not sure. But again, I'm going to stay optimistic no matter what the case is. I focus on what I can do to make a positive difference. I mean, there are going to be certain businesses that are going to have to do a major facelift on those businesses, no question about it. But that's been the case over in a history of time. We could go back when the Swiss watch, they didn't stay up in time, stay up with the technology, the record players. You've got no vinyl record players anymore. Then it went to cassette, then it went to 8-track to MP3. There will be differences. Do I know what those differences are? It's like, I'll tell you, my crystal ball's clear, but it's not crystal clear. I don't really know, but I can expect the unexpected, and because I can, part of my life philosophy.
Is there a specific routine you do, like from the morning to?
Is there a specific routine that I do? Yeah, when I get up, the first thing that I do is I start listening to some positive things. I normally get up before my wife. I know that she likes lemon water, so I make her lemon water. We go out for a walk sometime during the day. I will look in the internet and take a look at who's trying to reach me to see whatever messages are coming. I mean, to me, I don't do it ABC. I know that there's a variety of things that I always have to get done. I always want to know. I always want to get back to whoever has tried to reach out to me, for the most part, with the exception of a few people that I've met on the internet that are in area codes and parts of the country that I've just realized there's just too many undesirable people in that part of the world, unfortunately. And I'm thinking of area country codes like 234, 237, 239, and a few bad people, unfortunately, harm it for some of the good people in those areas. But my routine is listening to things, walking, and again, I eat nutrient dense, nutrient rich foods. A product line that I introduced you to. In fact, if anybody's interested, it's a product line that they should connect with you. It's a great product line. It's the one pure food that I know that I've been using for 7 years, and it's one of the reasons why before I started using it, I had a little bit of high blood pressure. I don't anymore. Most health crisis or health challenges can be reversed with changing your food. So I like to eat quality food, drink plenty of water. A routine is always hug my wife. I'm not going to allow social distancing to stop that.
And how do you mobilize for this pandemic? How do you prepare yourself? How do you mobilize?
So those are some of the things. And I like to get plenty of sleep. Whenever my body's tired, You know, one of the things that this has stopped me from is I used to go to the gym and play basketball. So now I'm doing walks. So I've had to modify. I've had to change some of the things, you know, that I'm doing. But you know, one of the constants that I've learned in life, and let me give the listeners also, and you can go to YouTube and get this. The constant in life is change. Change is always going to happen. So are you going to be a victim of the change, or are you going to utilize that change to as a stepping stone to get you where? And you know, if you go to YouTube and watch the movie Who Moved My Cheese, a great movie for those of you that might not have watched it. You know, it's about four people going through the maze of life looking for their cheese. Their cheese was their, so to speak, their utopia. You know, it was their final destination.
Okay.
And so they finally find the cheese. And over a period of time, the cheese becomes stale and runs out. So two of the characters in the movie, and again, I would highly recommend Who Moved My Cheese. Two of the characters in the movie, Skim and Scurry, got back into the maze of life because of change. You know, change happened. They had to deal with the change. But now the other two characters in the movie, Ham and Ha, they sat back and played the victim role. They pondered what happened. Why is it happening to them? You know, change happens. It's how we deal with change and how we continually go forward and how we can make a positive difference in other people's lives. Because, you know, the key, you know, to me, the key is how I can create a legacy life for myself, a life of meaning, because I was able to have a positive impact with other people. So, you have some more questions, or I can continually just talk on.
Mali said, "Thank you for your positivity
I'm not
and
hearing you at all
optimism."
now.
Mali said, "Thank you for your
still
positivity
not
and
hearing you.
optimism." Still nothing?
I see you moving your lips, but I'm not hearing what you're saying.
Could you hear me now? Could you hear me now?
I've lost connection.
I can hear you, but
I
I
haven't
don't
done anything
know.
on my end.
Me neither. I don't know what to do. Could you hear me now? Nothing?
Check your... I'm not sure if that's a sign of change. Things are changing, so I don't know. I don't hear you at all.
Connection too. And still nothing?
Can you hear me? Shake your head yes or no.
Yeah.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you.
You're hearing me.
Yes.
I'm not hearing you.
Yes, perfectly fine. I don't know what to do. Now? Still nothing?
Not hearing you. Don't hear you. Hello?
Technically, sure, I don't know what to do.
Did you say something there?
Mali, could you hear me?
It's a bad connection. We're freezing out.
Could you hear me now? Could you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Okay. Robert, I think it's on your end because Mali could hear me.
You.
I don't know what to do. Could you hear me? No? Okay. Hello, ma'am. I'm going to put you live for the time being. So he's going to check what's going on. Welcome, Mali.
Hi.
Hi. Maybe if you want to give your insight.
No, it was a great interview, and I'm so sorry. I don't know what was going on. I heard you the whole time. I heard him the whole time, but in the end, I don't know what happened there. But it was wonderful. I like the idea of him being reminding us that it's time to be positive right now, and it's time for us to really think about the things that we can control, not the things we cannot control. None of us have control over COVID-19. COVID-19 has control over us right now until our medical professionals and our scientists figure out a way to really help us eradicate it. And, you know, I just really appreciate the fact that he's really focusing on the positive things that he can do. I think that the world needs to be reminded that we still have the resources within us, and also within our community. Lean into our community. People who can support us and help us right now is going to be very important to really build that sense of community and to be vulnerable and reach out for help. So it was very helpful. I'm so sorry that I wasn't able to join, but I hope that your audience got a lot of
Yeah.
insights. So that's all I have to say.
Yeah, it was
And
great. I
yeah,
like the ideas. I had some few more questions, and I was about to read your last question, and unfortunately, I don't know if he's going to be able to log in back. I don't know, but it was a nice talk, and I just wanted to ask him why passive income would be the solution. I don't know what you think about that.
I think it's really important that people do figure out different multiple ways of making income. And I think that Robert was right about it really is a wake up call that we can't put all of our hopes and dreams into one basket, right? We have to be able to explore other ways with our talents and our gifts that we can make a living, take care of our basic needs, especially, and then hopefully once those basic needs are met, and we don't have the fear or the anxiety, we can create and we can give and we can support others within our community. So I do agree that it cannot just be one area of focus when it comes to income. We have to be flexible, and we have to innovate during this time. We have to figure out all the different ways that we uniquely can gift to the world that would allow us to also make a living.
So, well, it's my first time I had this technical issue. I'm kind of like lost what to do right now.
That's okay. I think we can just say goodbye for now, and then we'll figure out what we can test next time, and we can figure out if we. I know that Facebook has obviously launched their initiatives, and they're making their Facebook Lives available now with multiple interviewees. So we might want to try that out for the next time. But I appreciate you inviting me to come back. Okay.
You are welcome. Thank you so much, and see you soon on Friday. And by the way, Robert is okay to join your podcast. So I don't know about your timing. Oh, he's back. So I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for your time, and I'm going to put you back in touch. So you could set a time, I don't know when, for your podcast, and I'll see you on Friday.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We all done?
Okay, you are live in 1 second. Welcome back, Robert. I don't know what happened. I was not able to, you were not able to hear me?
No. But we're here now, which is good.
So I had in the meantime, I had Maddie, she was live, and she talked a little bit about her impression about what you said. And her last message was, thank you for your positivity and optimism. She said, I'm with you. Thanks for allowing me to participate, even if the technology did not allow full participation. Your sharing, Robert, has been great.
Super. I'm always glad to share because, you know, that's what changed my life, was when I came across different insights, and I've continually searched for more and more insights. And the rest of my life, I'm going to continually search because, again, my whole thing is living a life of significance. And it was like when somebody opened the door for me and saw how I could do things different because of the person I could become different. You know, you first want to focus on what you can be, how you can be different, so you can do different things differently, and that's how my path originally started. And I'm just grateful that um, everything that's happened, even the negative things that have happened to me in my life, it's like, what did I gain when something didn't go right? When at the time I had to get through whatever challenges that I might have had to go through. How did that serve me? How was that beneficial to me? Because everybody's going to go through different things. It's not always going to be a rose garden, so to speak. But it's like what we learn from when we have those tough times. And if you've got the right mindset and you
Mm-hmm.
continually feed that mind, when those times come, you're going to be able to better handle them.
Okay. And why do you think passive income is a solution to the COVID-19?
Well, I mean, first of all, I know it's the solution. People need to have a second income without having a second job. You can't depend upon a job. If you just take a look at the economics of a job, you're basically trading your time for time for dollars to build somebody else's dream. That's at the core issue of what a job is. If you're going to work for me, because I've got to, whatever my company is, I've got to stay competitive in the marketplace, right? There's competition in no matter what my business is, there's
Mm-hmm.
competitors to me. So what that basically means is I've got to buy labor as cheap as possible so I can be more competitive, use technology, things like that. So if you're going to be dependent only on a job as a sole source of income, you're going to be vulnerable to whatever might happen in the marketplace. Somebody comes and takes over your company, which happens. You have a major virus that happens, and the
Mm-hmm.
company can't survive. Like what's going on now. You're vulnerable. But if you had a plan B, and my plan B was to have a secondary income, so that you know, so that in case something unexpectedly happens, that you're going to be able to handle whatever changes happen, because you've got that income stream. You've been able to build up the assets. It's like, for example, I'm grateful, and yes, when everything happened and I have money in the marketplace, and I hadn't pulled my money out, I might have lost 100, 200, $300,000. I don't know. I don't even want to know. I've still got, I know I've got money in the marketplace, but I'm focused on where I can make a positive difference. And it's with people. So to me, I believe um, that everybody should have some kind of form of passive income until it becomes their primary income. When they don't need to trade their time for money, when they don't need to have a job. I love the acronym of job, journey of the broke, just over broke, whatever, however you want to take a look at it. But, yeah, you need to work and trade time for money until you don't need to trade time for money. And that's the position that people should be shooting for. That is one of the goals I believe that people should be focused on doing. Creating a situation where you don't have to trade your time for money, where you can live a life of more significance based on helping other people. That's why I love the Simon Sinek. It's understanding the why of doing what you're doing. And my why is making a positive difference in the people that I've developed relationships with, like yourself and other people like that. So I I believe that everybody should have passive income. Um, because you don't want to live your life for income. You want to have enough income so you don't have to worry about it. You want to focus on making a positive difference.
So my
Yep.
next question would be about what was your best year? How much money did you make in passive income on your best year?
Close to $1 million in the 1 year. I think it was. Again, I'm more focused on people. It was over 800,000, probably about 900,000 was my best year. I mean, there are many, many years that I made $20,000 to $30,000 a month. I mean, there are people in my profession that make a lot more money than me. Um, but I'm living a life of balance. I've got, balance my life. I'm here. I've been married for 34 years. My wife's birthday is next week. I'm sorry, not next month, next week, in 2 days. Uh, Part of it is making sure that you're happy with the things that you're doing. I mean, would I like to make more money? Yes. Do I believe in the future I'm going to make more money? Yes. But
Yeah, but it's already a success because many people are not able to make that amount of money. It's a way a successful amount. So
yes.
how to become successful? Somebody watching right now, how to achieve those level?
Well, first of all, it's telling yourself, number one, that this is what I want to do. Number two, it's feeding your mind. Number three, finding the right mentor. I mean, before I had there's two different types of mentors. There's direct mentors and indirect mentors. I started off with indirect
Mhm.
mentors. It was listening to cassette tape, and then I listened to more cassette tapes until I found, a live mentor. But today, and again, we've all got different screens
Mhm.
of logic. So you want to make sure that whoever you're finding as your mentor really can help you. He's empathetic. He takes the time to, understand where you are, what you want to accomplish, and figuring out how to create a strategy to get from where you are to where you want to be that's realistic. You know, um, but it's finding the right mentor. To me, mentors everything. Somebody that really cares and that is in it for you, not for themselves. I mean, there are many people out there, unfortunately, it's like when I first meet them, the first thing I feel they want to do is get in my pocket. They want to see how much money they can extract rather than bringing value first. If you bring value to people, the money will come. If you focus on how I can become more valuable to that person, you will make plenty of money. There's no shortage of money. It's being a valuable asset to somebody else or to other people. It's how do you attract the right people, and how you can be a trusted advisor and help people transform their life. The more you're able to make a positive difference in people's lives, the more money will come to you if you're in a system that rewards you accordingly. And that's why I like what people look at: MLM, network marketing, consumer direct marketing. There's many different um, labels that people will put on it, but realistically, that kind of business it's a leveraged business model where you've got a vested interest to help somebody else succeed. The only way I make money in the kind of businesses that I'm involved with is helping other people. Unless I'm able to help them, I've just wasted time. I might have helped them to some degree, but not to the degree that I would like to. So you want to be involved in a
Okay.
business
And
model
how,
that,
if somebody here in this audience right now would like to have a mentor, how would that person be able to know if they need a direct or an indirect mentor?
well, I mean, indirects are great. And I gave earlier on our program today, I gave a variety of different, people that I highly respect. Jim Rohn. I mean, I don't think there's anybody better, but he passed away. So you can start with indirect until you find the
Mhm.
direct. I mean, I believe it's always great, to have a direct mentor because they're going to hold you accountable. You take a look at, for example, Weight Watchers. Why was Weight Watchers so effective as a business? Because they held you responsible. You had to go in and weigh in once a week or whatever it was. So ultimately, I think you're going to want a direct mentor. But
Mhm.
until you can find the right direct mentor, you can start with indirect mentors. One of the things I learned a long time ago, Ndeye, is every excuse will work. Any excuse of why you're not moving in the direction that you really truly want to be moving in and creating the results that you want, that excuse will work. I haven't found the right mentor. I haven't found the right indirect mentor. whatever it is. All excuses work. It's when you can't come to that defining moment and you say, enough is enough. I ain't going to put up with it anymore. Jim Rohn, back in the day, what, he communicated was his defining moment when a Girl Scout cookie came to his door and asked him to buy some Girl Scout cookies. And he lied to her. He says, I already bought some when he knew he hadn't. But the reason he lied to her because he didn't have enough money to buy the cookies. When it hurts enough, there's an old story about these guys that were walking by this house all the time, and on the front porch, there was this dog that was yowling and just yowling like you couldn't believe. And and I don't remember exactly how the story went, but he was sitting on a nail and he was too lazy to get off the nail. So he's just sit there yowling, until it hurts bad enough and you come to that realization, that wake up, that enough is enough. I want to do something more in my life. And that's when you know.
My last question before we wrapped up, it's how do you see Christmas 2020?
Well, first of all, I believe that social distancing will be over. I believe we'll be back. I believe we'll be back to being able to travel. I know my wife has got certain trips that she wants to go on with me. So I believe that we will be able to be back to being able to travel. Um, you know, Christmas, first of all, Christmas is normally that time where you're spending it with special people. It's about the time where you're evaluating this year, and we'll be able to look back and realize the things that we've had to go through. And at that point in time, because it's right, New Year's is right around the corner. It's that time of the year where you're looking ahead to see where this next year is going to go. Now, I expected 2020 to be a lot better than 2020 has been so far. Back in the 1920, it was the roaring 20s. I expected this to be the soaring 20s. Well, the first year of the soaring 20s hasn't been too much of soaring 20s. But, again, it's like I said earlier, everything happens for a reason. And, maybe this is just a much bigger wake-up call to help people just shake us. I mean, some of the people that I'm associated with have said it's sort of been very good for Mother Earth. The amount of people traveling around, the consumption. I think a lot of people are taking it as an awakening. But anyhow, everything happens for a reason. I believe that you need to stay very optimistic, even when it seems to be darkest. And so as it relates to Christmas, I would expect, to be celebrating that we're on the other side of the things that we're going through right now. And we're really looking forward to the soaring 20s, and how we're going to take it to the next level, whatever that means for the people that we're with.
Oh. And what's your final word, if there is something you would like to share to wrap up in regard to how to cope with COVID-19 and the passive income?
Well, the first thing is you got to stay optimistic. Second of all, take this as a wake-up call. If you don't have a passive income stream, I recommend you get one. The biggest thing that we're dealing with, is the other person's perception. Quite often people think it's about trying to sell people things. You want to be involved in something that it's about how we influence people. Like, for example, the company you're working with. One of your passive income streams is about really making a positive difference in people's lives by educating them how they can age more gracefully and have a better chance of living longer. There's many different passive income streams or ways that you can make passive income. But what you really want to know is if others can do it, so can you. You know, the only thing that stops us from creating the success that we deserve, and we all deserve to be successful at the next level, is the 6 inches between your ears. It's how you look at things, how you think about things. And you can change how you look at things. You can change how you think about things. You can change the actions you do if you've got the right mindset. So the biggest thing that I can tell you is if I can do it, everybody that's here listening to this conversation can become tremendously successful. It's all about doing the right actions accordingly.
Absolutely. Nice word. On these words, thank you so much, Robert. Thank you, Mali, even if we had those technical issues, she was behind the scene. So thank you so much. And I look forward to, before I forget, she would like to have you on her podcast. I met her also on LinkedIn and we started this connection. And I wonder if you would like to join her podcast.
Sure, I'd be happy to. You can give her my LinkedIn is Robert Bartwin, or my email is just Bartwin@gmail. Just remember, with Robert, you do nothing but win. BUTWIN.
Sure. I'm going to send her all details and I look forward to listening to your podcast with her. I'm really sorry she was not able to join us today, but next time we try on Facebook Live because they said there is a new option where we could have more than 3 people joining. So thank you so much, Robert. And it was a pleasure having you. Bye.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Welcome.
All right.